Stephen A., how do you view Kevin Durant now?
He's a champion. It's just that simple. I mean, listen, we can't hate on this man. This man is one of the greatest players in the world. And he's one of the greatest players in the world, and he showed it. This dude averaged plus 30, shot better than 55% from the field. It was one of the most efficient offensive performances we've ever seen from a superstar in this league on any level, particularly in NBA Finals history. But I think it's important that everybody recognize and remember the narrative and to stop trying to change it for their own liking. The issue was never about Kevin Durant and whether or not he was going to be a champion. The issue was that it was a foregone conclusion because of the decision that he made. This was not a marginal player. This was not an average player. This is one of the greatest players as far as I'm concerned, in the history of basketball. I think it's safe to say that already. At 6'11", with a 7'6" wingspan, with skills of a guard, with range to boot, this dude is the total package offensively. He's on that level. And because he was so great, when we look at Kevin Durant, we looked at the rest of the squad and said, damn it, it's unfair. What happened during the postseason, and the regular season, and the finals? We saw just how unfair it was. Nobody was capable of competing with them in the regular season. Nobody was capable of competing with them in the postseason. And damn sure nobody was capable of competing with them in the finals. This is an elite team with a guy in Steph Curry who was a reigning two-time league MVP, averaging nearly 29, 9, and 9. And we barely even talked about him because he didn't compare to the dude that just captured his first championship. He is the NBA Finals MVP, and a new era appears to be on the horizon, if not having already arrived, in that of Kevin Durant. It's that simple.
Well, your answer shows why Kevin Durant is wiser than you in this situation. Because Kevin Durant, very informed, intelligent crowd we have today. Excellent. Where do we get these people? Kevin Durant understood that, yes, Stephen A. Smith and others would say it's a weak move to join the team that just beat you, especially it was that close. That it was a weak move, that he looked over at LeBron, and so did Steph and others, and said, we can't get him by ourselves. Maybe if we formed the Super Friends team, you know, the Hall of Justice could get this dude, because one-on-one, it's too much. We knew that already. He knew that. He would be criticized for that. But he also knew that if he made that move, Stephen A. Smith would be up here 1 year later, and here we are, saying, can't take anything away from him, can't hate on him, one of the greatest players of all time, champion. And that was the criticism that I had of KD in the first place. Not that I wouldn't have done the same thing he did, or that it was a foolish thing for him to do. But in life, there are trade-offs. It doesn't always go all your way. You get something, you give something. So he recognized in order to win a championship, to guarantee that, he had to join the Warriors, or at least that was a guarantee he'd win one as close as you can come. He also realized that you don't really get full credit for being one of the best of all time unless you win the championship. So in a sense, he was going to reverse engineer his greatness. Guys, not that he's not a great player. You have to be an idiot not to know Kevin Durant is an all-time great player. But in terms of getting mentioned in that upper echelon of the position, of the wing players, obviously MJ, but LeBron, Bird, or even of the non-bigs, Magic, you have to win a championship, preferably championships. So KD said, aha, I will reverse engineer that, meaning I'll start from the end. I'll join that team, I'll win a championship, and then I'll get all that credit. And even though, Stephen A., you'll sit here and detail the journey and say, let's not forget the details, the headline is, for you today, Kevin Durant, champion. He understood this. He understood this in a way that was actually, this is excellent responses from the crowd today. He understood this in a way that actually showed the way LeBron understood it when he went to Miami. More maturity than you and I and the rest of the media really showed. He understood a better, he showed a better understanding of history than we showed.
I have to interject and respond to what you're saying because you're so wrong. And what I mean by that, and what I mean by that is this. See, you try to change the narrative. Not one single person questioned Kevin Durant's wisdom. Who the hell said anything about wisdom? Nobody's questioning that. We all, when he announced July 4th that he was coming to Golden State to play for the Warriors, when he put it in a Players Tribune, I believe it was in the 10 o'clock hour. By the 11 o'clock hour, the basketball world had conceded that we'd be sitting here today with him as a champion. Mm-hmm. So there was never a question about the wisdom in which he was exercising, because if you won a championship, why not join the damn Warriors, who had won a championship, who were in Game 7 last year and lost, who should have won in 5 if Draymond Green hadn't gotten suspended. And so we already knew. The problem was it was the predictability of the outcome, because greatness was being coupled with an extreme level of individual greatness on a part of Kevin Durant.
So you discount the accomplishment?
No. What I'm saying to you is that for us who love competition, we believed that it had been eradicated. We had been stripped of that reality. Hold on. And it's been proven. Because if you look at how he and the Golden State Warriors have steamrolled this, regardless of the ratings and everything else, you can't find anybody that's sitting there and going like this: damn, I kind of expected it just to be a touch better than this. I mean, they just rolled over. Cleveland, in order to win one game.
What was your pick?
In order to win.
You didn't say 5 games.
And I also said,
if you 7 games.
I have Molly as a witness.
No, what he said is you all kind of thought it was going to be 5, but then he was like, out of respect for LeBron, I got to go 7.
And not only that,
and
wish.
And I got it right.
Because
that's true. You did.
I did say that.
Time out. Give you credit. You did say that.
I did say that.
You were kind of wishing it would go that way.
So all I'm saying is, think about the one game that they lost in these entire playoffs. 49 points in the first quarter.
Yep.
86 points in a half.
Yeah, it was a record.
13 three-pointers in the first half. 24 three-pointers total. All NBA Finals records. That's what it took for one game
absolutely.
to be captured again.
Absolutely.